Whoa, it's the illusion reporting from somewhere on spaceship Earth. I'm here, Talons Out Ranch, baby. I'm doing that thing today. So I'm getting my garden ready for spring, dude, because doesn't seem like we're having a winter up here, which is kind of sucks. You know, we need winter. But I thought I would just touch base on something I noticed come up recently, and like maybe reestablish what my sort of driving mission is, or the undercurrent of what I'm about. And I guess why I'm bringing this up is, you know, there's a, wait, I gotta wash off my trowel. I'm putting a little lip there for my gate because I'm all about critter prevention right now. Hold on. We'll kind of do both. Talk about what I'm about and what I'm doing, which is basically kind of the same thing, I guess, in metaphorical sense. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my garden all ready. So I had a lot of the critters infiltrated. So what I did is I lined this all with this 1/4-inch grid screening. One of my advices I can give you, just don't ever bother with chicken wire. That stuff sucks. It's useless on a certain level. So I dug this down. I trenched all the way around this thing. It took a while, but I dug down for about a foot down, got this fencing down below that, sewed it all up, and then I put this flashing around it. So the basic theory is to prevent the critters from going in sideways, digging in there, but they will climb, so they'll get to this flashing and they won't be able to climb up over the flashing. That's my theory anyway. But I'm definitely armor plated compared to last year. So I got my beds all organized. I tilled the field, tilled this all up recently. I got these all organized. Man, this is just super rad soil that I've been working on for a couple years. So the beds are organized, and now I just got to start putting back in my irrigation line. And we got a couple winter things going over there. But with that said, I just wanted to address like what the core of my situation. Like, I don't lean any particular direction on the spectrum of the reality we're living in down here in this three-dimensional state. I mean, either right, left, conservative, or liberal, right? I take from all those pots. I'm a gumbo, baby. And what I'm getting at is, you know, I've been pretty hard on, you know, with this whole fire situation going on in Southern California, man. It really kind of sucks to watch people using it as a political bitching post, in the sense of like, see those guys, it's their fault if they had only, and this and that. And I've been super hard on all the conservative grifters that are talking about a situation they don't know anything about. And as you know, I have standing in catastrophic wildfires in the Santa Monica Mountains, right? And So I don't really like, I've been really hard on the conservatives, but I got an email last night with one of these like lefty guys using that as a vehicle to like be like about like the creepy lefty agenda. And I just want to make it clear for people out there is I don't subscribe to the conservative movement of this country, nor the liberal movement of this country. I subscribe to the freedom of this country, which means that I'm suspect about anything that is mono, anything that is my way or the highway, anything that is status quo. And what I've found is one of my core tenets is I'm anti-war. I am anti-war. I am anti-military industrial complex. I'm anti-big pharma. I'm anti-big agra. I'm a tree hugger at the core, and that has morphed over time from battling the corporations and the federal government to understanding that the only real place I have any control is on my own property, and trying to be a steward of my 3 acres here and be a responsible steward of it and practice these principles in all of my affairs. And what I've noticed is that people want it to be one way or the other way. And I don't do polarized. I am, if there's any theme that my channel's about, is don't buy into the polarized nonsense, the us against them, the somebody's at fault thing is look, we're all in this together. We've all monkeyed the show, and from my perspective is when you begin this deep dive into what freedom entails, it's not a question of who's running the government. It's a question of who's running you. And if you want to look to the government for answers, or one political party for answers, and blame another political party and be like, oh my God, if these guys are in charge, it'll change, you're abdicating your authority. I'm all about self-empowerment. And for me, it's a journey of spirituality. First and foremost is my entire YouTube channel has been really about my journey of spirituality within the parameter of sobriety, and so I change my point of view a lot based upon my core tenets. And when I began to lean into like a more conservative mindset, it was because of my core tenets of being anti-big pharma, anti-big agra, anti-war, anti-hatred, anti-polarization, right? Like, once upon a time I used to be like pretty far on the left spectrum of all of this, and the windows change, and what is a liberal, it doesn't matter a bit, but my core thing has been the same for most of my adult life about these basic principles. I firmly believe in the do no harm principle. And I'm also a firm defender of, like, if anyone tries to harm you, you're allowed to use lethal force to defend yourself and your loved ones. So that makes me very like pro constitutional amendments and the Bill of Rights. But that doesn't mean that those have anything to do with this garbage going on in Washington and in the governments, man. Because again, I'm trying to teach everybody that you have to empower yourself, and you have a responsibility to act locally, and be civically minded. There's a big difference between politics and civics in my book. And maybe this is something I need to like re-explain is to me, civics is personal responsibility and involvement with your local societal structure, your civic institutions. Politics is abdicating that authority to outside. It's outsourcing your civic responsibilities to politicians. And you get this garbage, which, you know, you can get all into the corporation of the United States of America versus what the real concept of America is supposed to be. But that's other videos. But what I'm trying to say is my main idea is don't polarize yourself. Stop looking for someone to blame and start taking responsibility for your life. Because the minute you start to take responsibility for your life, you will realize how much you screw up and how at fault you are. And that if you want people to forgive you for your mistakes, you better begin to look outside of yourself and realize that everybody is just exponentially blowing it, dude. And that's where we're at. Is it's easy to blame someone else, because when you blame someone else, you don't have to look at yourself and ask yourself, have I done my very best to instill the values of freedom within my hula hoop, right? It's pretty easy to talk big talk and all that stuff, but can you do freedom, which is personal responsibility, in your hula hoop? Or are you another person who talks about freedom and then goes and gets in a car and drinks and drives? Are you another person that talks about freedom yet won't take care of their own personal health? Are you another person that talks about freedom and then goes and gets your car in line at a fast food restaurant? Are you another person that talks about freedom then complains when the other side's government and entities fail? And what I would say is I've gotten a big lens of why the conservatives are completely full of shit in the last like 6 months. And I'm not signing up for that kind of garbage of like, oh, those guys. Because if you are like me, I believe in small government. I like paved roads. I like a lot of what the institutions do when we engage with them. I like fire departments and Caltrans crews and Forest Service and clean water and all of these things. What I don't like is people blaming other people while they're not engaging with the system. And I've tried to make that live by example on this YouTube channel. I've run for city council. I've been involved with trying to change things on a civic level. And none of that involved, if you look at the journey of it, like in the beginning, I was definitely against. And the negativity of there has to be an opposition to everything that is going on. And then you really begin to get involved. And when you really get involved with stuff, you realize it's just a bunch of human beings fumbling in the dark, looking for guidance from other human beings. But there's nobody there because everybody's sitting on their couch at home, bitching and moaning, trying to blame someone. And the core of this channel is to rise above that. You, at this stage of the game, if you want to blame anybody, blame everybody, dude. Blame yourself, man. And when you blame yourself, and I've had to go on a deep dive over the last course of this YouTube channel of like my responsibilities and what I bring to the table and what I slap off the table with my own negativity and my own it's those guys thing. You get what I'm saying? You can't be anti all the creepy stuff going on in the public school systems and not homeschool your children. You got to take responsibility for educating your own children. You can't be against big agra and not attempt to like begin to grow something whether it's a tomato plant on your windowsill or begin to fortify your own abundance, man. You can't claim to be about being against big government and then every day go and blame the lefties for their failings in their governmental institutions and be like, see, look, it's your governor sucks. Well, you were against big government. So like, of course the governor sucks. The governor sucks everywhere, dude, because everybody's abdicated their authority. And I know it's this weird thing where like I'm drifting into like, it annoys me not because we've been doing this a long time and I realize new people are showing up all the time and it's like a refresher course and they want me to fit in their box. I don't do status quo. I can hold two opposing thoughts at the same time. I can live in hypocritical realities. Like that's the thing I don't think most people, and this is one of the things I try to address on this channel. There is no way to avoid being a hypocrite. There is no way in this modern world to avoid being a hypocrite. There is no way in this modern world to be off the grid. There is no way in this modern world not to be part of the problem, dude. We are all part of the problem. And at the same time, we're all part of the solution. But the solution is based upon like the ability to look within and be like, wow, the buck stops with me. It's not the governor. It's not the county commissioner. It's not the dude in Washington. It's me. And the minute you realize it's you realize that you have to go to a spiritual solution, right? You have to go and dig deeper about what is going on down here. And the minute you do that, you no longer live in fear of these institutions and these people with their suits and these ties because they're irrelevant on a huge level. They're super irrelevant on a huge level once you realize that, man, you're your own worst enemy. Nobody fucks up my scene more than me. Nobody. It isn't the feds. It isn't the cops. It isn't big pharma. It isn't the military industrial complex. It's me, man. It is me. I am my own worst enemy. And that's what it comes down to. That's why I don't get into the I will sit and talk about how lame the liberals are, and I will talk about how lame the conservatives are, and I will talk about aspects of the liberal world that I appreciate and aspects of the conservative world I appreciate. And I will talk about the failings of my spiritual path as a community and the blessings of my spiritual path as a community. I will talk about the blessings of sobriety and the failings of sobriety. I will talk about the blessings of being a father and a husband, and I will talk about my failings as a father and a husband. So with that said, I thought I would just chime in a little bit about what I'm trying to do, not being part of the status quo, baby. And yeah, it's like the goats come over to like hang out, man, because they're my friends. Because that's what we're trying to do here is start somewhere. Start by taking some responsibility for our situation, dude. So with that said, I think I should wrap that up. We've gone a little long here, but you know me, I like to talk to a camera out in the middle of my fields, dude. Anyway, that's the illusion. Hey, links down below. I'm putting the t-shirts back in the up on the store. I'm going into silkscreen a bunch right now, so get yourself some Talons Out t-shirts, some stickers. There's a bunch of art if you got some big dollars you want to drop on the thing, but donations are always appreciated. But literally, the most important thing you can do to support this channel is get yourself together and begin to use the name tags and take responsibility for your own reality, man. All right, it's the Illusion signing off.